Hi, I'm Ori J, and this is my poem, Unraveling. Your ancestors suffered. This is not your fault. Your ancestors caused suffering. This is not your fault. Your ancestors sold slaves, and your ancestors were enslaved. This is not your fault. Your ancestors built alliances and tribes. This is not your fault. Your ancestors waged war. This is not your fault. Your ancestors conquered and were conquered. This is not your fault. Your ancestors lived. Your ancestors loved. Your ancestors killed. Your ancestors died. And this is not your fault. The world is cruel. This is not your fault. The world is kind to some and not to others. This is not your fault. The sun still burns, and the earth still turns, and the stars will shine long after all of us have died. This is not your fault. You have inherited a legacy of trauma encoded into your molecular makeup. This is not your fault. Sometimes you struggle to know where you end and the edges of history begin. This is not your fault. You are not responsible for unwriting the past. It has already been written. But you are responsible for the story of you. Oh yes, I know you suffer, and this is not your fault. But when your heart bleeds onto everyone around you, when you yearn to make others ache as you have ached, when your shaking hands strike at the shadows to fend off the ghosts that haunted your ancestors, what blame are you grasping, wrapping around yourself tight as a cocoon, dark as a crypt, holding all the weight of your anguish, drawing it so close that it becomes like a second skin? And why? Why do you want so badly for what is wrong with the world to finally be your fault?